Hi, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and this is part 6 of the making of the 300 diorama. And this part is about adding water to your diorama, and can be used on any diorama. The water section on this one's kind of big, so chances are your diorama will have less water, so you won't have to go do all the things that I'm doing. But let me show you a couple of things that I'm doing. I've added some talis around the edges of the water here, and that's kind of like pebbly, rocky, beachy kind of stuff. So what I did, I just put some glue down, sprinkled the talis on, and then sprayed it with scenic cement to kind of hold it in place. Once that dries, the glue won't show and it'll look good. It'll look like sand or pebbles. I've also put a border around the water area here on the diorama. This is about almost a half an inch thick. It comes up almost a half an inch over the surface of the water, and all the way around the edge. So the important thing is that you need an area that's going to contain your liquid, because when you pour your realistic water in there, it's going to be liquid. You need to hold it like a pool while it dries. And once it dries, you can always take your borders off. So if your water's in the center of your diorama somewhere, you might not need to do this. But if it's on the edge, you need to put some kind of an edging around it, and that's what I have here. So I just put some molding, some wood molding around this, and it looks really good. What I'm going to do is, once the talis dries, I'm going to spray this with some kind of a clear sealant. And that's a good idea if you have large areas, because the realistic water will soak through a little bit. And just to maximize the use of the water, and it doesn't soak through anything, I'm going to seal it with a spray sealer. So I'll get back to you when this dries, and I'll show you the sealing, and then I'll show you the pouring of the realistic water in there, and then we'll take a look at the whole thing when it's done. When all the water's done. Thanks. Okay, the talis is dried, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. And what I have here is I've already actually done it. I've applied flex paste, you can see that there, to the edge of the diorama. See, and that will seal this edge so the artificial water doesn't run down in there, so it doesn't run down. See, now that's pretty white, but flex paste works really good. You could do this. You could do anything for this. You could use glue. You could even apply enough paint to seal it. That would be fine. I've used flex paste because I like it, and because I have a pretty big surface to seal. So that's looking really good. When that flex paste dries, I'll paint over it, so you won't even be able to see it. It'll be blue. I'll repaint it blue, and then I will seal this with a sealer, and then we'll be ready to pour the realistic water. Okay, this diorama is getting close to completed as far as the water goes. I've added my flex paste, I've let it dry, I've painted over it to give it a good look, I've done a little bit of touch-up work, and now I'm going to do another step here, is I'm going to actually seal this. I'm going to use a spray sealant, and this is not a mandatory step, you don't have to do this, but with a large area like this, if I seal it, it will help contain the realistic water. It'll just be a better use of my water. So that'll dry shortly, and when that's dry, I'll go ahead and I'll pour the water and I'll show you that. Now you can actually use this sealer, almost any kind of a clear matte sealer, on your whole diorama if you wanted to really seal it nice, so it'll stay for a long period of time. Like that. But I'm not going to do that for now. For now I'm going to finish the water, and I'll show you that as I pour it. Okay, the water area is fully prepared on this diorama, and I'm ready to pour the realistic water right in there. You can see I've got everything done. It looks great. Now all you do is pour the realistic water in there. Now it's kind of viscous, so I want to spread it around. Let it find its level. It's going to be high and low spots. One important thing about diorama water is using this is that you only want to pour it 1/8 of an inch thick. That's per level. So you pour about 1/8 of an inch of it. I'm going to let that settle in and find its layer. And you can use little toothpicks or sticks to settle that out. But 1/8 of an inch thick, and then you let it sit 24 hours. Let it sit overnight. Then pour another layer. So that's what I'm going to do. This layer is good. It's settling in nicely. Looks good. It's looking really good. See, and the talis, the pebbles there, are going to be right under the water, which is really nice. It looks good. Okay, so that's enough for now. I'm going to let that sit overnight, and I'm going to do another coat, and I'll have you take a look at it. Okay, I wanted you to take a look at the water here, and it looks fantastic. It really came out good. And so this part of the diorama is done. I'm almost finished with the whole diorama. I just have a few more things to do, like wire up the lights and paint the miniatures and then put together the light show, and add the sound effects. So a couple of last notes about the water is you can always put ripples in it as it's starting to harden. You can use a soft brush or a toothpick or something to put ripples in it. You can also put embed grass right into it, and between layers you can also, put ships or anything, put it on top of one layer and then pour another layer right over it. So that's the end of this part of the tutorial.